Linux file system hierarchy is a mysterious maze of directories. In this video, we will discover the function of the most widely used Linux directories. In Linux, everything is a file. The files constitute all the operating system components. Files are grouped by directories in a hierarchical fashion, meaning that one directory can be above or below another. Before we proceed, here are a few key points to remember. Number 1. The entire Linux directory structure starts at the top root directory, expressed by a /. Number 2. Directory names connected by /, such as those shown here, are called paths. Number 3. You use the change directory using the cd command to locate the desired file in the correct directory. Also, you can use the present working directory pwd command to check where you are in the directory hierarchy at any time. Number 4. A dot before the file name represents the hidden files in Linux. Number 5. You can use the ls command to view the content of the directory. Now let's review the most important Linux directories. The first is the /home, designed to hold users' home directories. Each user account is assigned a home directory to save personal files. As you can see here, the user computing has a home directory with its name. Next is the boot directory. Use the cd command followed by / to get to the root first. Then type the cd boot for the boot directory. It contains files needed to start the boot process. These files include the Linux kernel, the initial RAM disk image, and the bootloader grub. The bootloader grub is responsible for booting operating systems on a computer. Files named vmlinux 6.8.0-35 generic is the kernel image. The kernel is the core of the operating system that manages hardware resources and provides essential services for applications. Next is the usr directory. Use the cd command followed by 2 dots to go back to the root level. Now run the change directory cd command again to go to the usr directory. Now run the ls command. This directory contains general files related to the system. Most important are the bin, sbin, and lib directories. The bin directory contains crucial user executable commands including pwd and ls command itself. Then you have sbin or system binaries directory, which contains binaries usually for administrative tasks. Apart from bin and sbin, the next important directory here is the lib or libraries. This directory contains shared libraries routines required by many commands, programs, and even used by the kernel. Next is the root directory. This is the default home directory location for the root user. Run the change directory cd command again to go to the root level and run the ls command to display the root directory. Normal users cannot access this directory, and permission will be denied if you try to access this folder. Only root has access to it when they log into the system. Next is the etc. directory. It is a critical component of the system. It serves as the central repository for system-wide configuration files and shell scripts that are used to configure the system's settings and applications. Run the ls command to display the etc. directory. Use the cd command to go to the etc. directory and list the content by ls command. Here you can find fstab, which defines disk partitions and their mount points. Also, you find many other configuration file like passwd, which contains user account information, hosts file, which maps host names to IP addresses, and network configuration files. Next is the dev directory. It is a special directory that contains device files. These files are interfaces to the hardware components and peripherals of the system. Run the cd command to move to the dev directory, and you can find multiple files here. Some common files are SDA, represents the first SATA hard drive. TTYS0, represents the first serial port. Finally, a null file is a special file that discards all data written to it. Next is the opt directory. You hardly ever deal with it, and it includes add-on software or optional applications. The var directory is where you'll find variable files that change as the operating system is being used. These files include logs and cache files, which are crucial for system performance and troubleshooting. The temp directory is for temporary files that won't be persisted between reboots. Lastly, we have an interesting one. The proc directory is a virtual file that the Linux kernel creates in memory to track the active process. It does not actually exist on the disk. By understanding the Linux file system hierarchy, you'll be well equipped to navigate, manage, and optimize your system efficiently, empowering you to harness the full potential of Linux. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for future updates and videos.